There are three core pillars that I'll go through with you today. Number one, the end of generic thought leadership. Number two, why most personal brands won't survive 2026. And number three, the three things that you need to do to be the exception. Okay? Let me explain something to you guys. LinkedIn has over 1 billion users. And you guys have probably heard this stat before, but if you haven't, here it is. 1 billion users. How many people do you think are posting content on LinkedIn consistently? Give me a number, a percentage. 10%, 50%, 60%? So just give a guess, 1%, 3%, 2%. Yeah, between 1 to 3% of people are posting content, LinkedIn content on every single week. That is insane if we compare it to Instagram. That is insane if we compare it to Facebook. That is insane if we compare it to any other social media platform. LinkedIn today is the blue ocean that every single one of you is looking for today because there is an undersupply to the over demand for content. So 1 billion users scrolling on LinkedIn and none of them are finding content that they like. So the reason why I'm all in on LinkedIn is because of this. LinkedIn is the highest intent business platform, right? It's focusing on achievement, success, aspiration, not just entertainment like Instagram or TikTok that you have to create videos consistently at a high quality with high editing and you're not really getting anywhere. And to be honest, that's why people like Alex Hormozi are going all in on LinkedIn, right? Who knows Alex here, right? So if people like Alex Hormozi are posting content, are allocating resources onto LinkedIn and you aren't, then I'm going to ask you, why do you think you're not? If the highest and highest of the echelons of entrepreneurs are, then why are you not? We also have Cody Sanchez, also one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the spaces, Instagram, YouTube, etc., but she's still posting content consistently on LinkedIn. And so if she is, then why not you? We also have Liam Otley. I don't know how many of you guys follow him. He's got thousands and thousands and thousands of followers on YouTube. And so if he has a big following on YouTube, then why is he posting on LinkedIn? Well, the reason for this is that LinkedIn is the place where people are seeing a massive opportunity, right? Everyone is seeing what's happening on LinkedIn right now and they're hopping on the bandwagon. But if you leave it till too late, it's going to be too late for you to start. And I don't want you to be that person that gets left behind, right? Otherwise, look, I am talking about LinkedIn like I'm just narrating, but this has been the result that I've seen with my own LinkedIn. Over 300,000 followers, viral posts every single day. So I know the true potential of LinkedIn because I've seen it. And also, I've seen it with all the clients, signing 3K retainers, 3,500, getting Stripe notifications like this. $8,000 pay in full just because of LinkedIn. And again, I'm asking you, why are you not doubling down? Now, the problem here is okay, Lara, well, I'm trying to post on LinkedIn, but impressions are low. The algorithm hates me. Algorithm sucks. Everything sucks right now. It's changed so much. Okay, right. The problem is that people are operating with the old model of LinkedIn. And what is that? They're putting content out daily and they're expecting more distribution, right? Because you're running on the old playbook, where the realistic version was you post content from all the platforms and it performs well, right? And so there's a big gap that no one's really addressing today. And that is, in order to get more distribution, you need to get clarity around what the platform actually wants. So most people that are seeing the downtrend are complaining about organic reach being over, about, having to invest on ads. How many of you guys have tried to pay LinkedIn to show you to more people because your organic content isn't working? You don't need to pay on LinkedIn. You don't need to pay for ads. That's why you're here. Maybe you're confused that the LinkedIn game seems to change every single week and then one day it's posting carousels and the next day it's posting value. And again, that's wrong. You're following the wrong advice. Or maybe you're stuck, whereas people are less smart than you with horrible business models, with really bad client results, are literally getting ahead of you. And it seems like it's a rigged game, but it's not. The hack here, ladies and gentlemen, is that you need to just understand how to get consistent engagement, understand how to get DMs full of your ideal prospects waiting to connect, and also understand how to build LinkedIn influence that directly translates to revenue, because posting content and getting likes is cute, but it's not enough to get to $10,000 extra, $50,000 extra, $100,000 extra. So that's why we're covering the three first things today. And the first one is the end of generic thought leadership. So have you been finding that it's hard right now to get attention on LinkedIn? So who here is getting like 50 likes, 10 likes here, 30 likes there, etc.? Yes. Okay, cool. Now, the reason for this is you probably have seen all of these reports going out telling you that this post is better, that this post is better, but then you're trying all of these things and it's not working for you. Or maybe you're seeing all of this information and it's just completely overwhelming because you're like, okay, one person is saying this, the other person is saying that, and I don't have time, right? Who here has a massive time constraint because you don't want to spend 20 million hours on LinkedIn every single week, right? Sorry, I'm a bit, okay. So if there's anything I want for you to take away today is this. Only trust official sources, right? So the official LinkedIn algorithm update is this, and this is why everything feels different right now. LinkedIn last year rolled out one of the biggest LinkedIn algorithm changes on the platform's history, right? And it was called 360 Brew, right? And they quietly removed the actual article, but no one knows why. But you can still have access to it in the archives. Now, it's very wordy and it's very techy, but here's something that I saw, and this is what I want you guys to understand. It affects everything from your feed to how you're seeing ads to learning suggestions to your profile and your recommendations. So what you should be actually paying attention to and the tactical things that actually matter are this. Before January 2025 or even 2024, if you posted something like this, like you're seeing on the screen, you blew up easily and generic thought leadership worked. But then LinkedIn realized that people are starting to tune out of the platform because everything sounded the same. People were making fun of LinkedIn every single time. And maybe you guys are probably having the same thought, like, oh my God, why am I even on a LinkedIn masterclass right now? I thought LinkedIn was only to post job offers and celebrate my achievements. Like, how many of you guys recognize LinkedIn as the place where you go, oh, I'm so excited to announce this, and oh, I just got hired by my dream role, or blah, 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 right? That era is now over because LinkedIn recognizes that they want experts talking about their expertise. And one of those people is me, right? I've seen this model play out over the last 3 years, but now LinkedIn has finally reached the point where they want more of that. So the previous model worked in different algorithms. So one of them was handling the feed, one of them was handling the comments, one of them was handling ads, right? And that's how it worked. That's why you were seeing so many different types of content on your feed. But today, if you log on to LinkedIn, you're just seeing one type of content. And that is because the new 360 Brew model has a single integrated algorithm powering all features. It analyzes post content to match it with interested audiences. It prioritizes meaningful expertise and substantive conversation. And it also values quality over quantity. So for those of you who think that you need to post 20 times a day, that doesn't need to happen. You only need to post 1 time a day, right? Or even 4 times a week if you want. So the old tactics also stopped working. So just posting doesn't work. Generic and fluffy tips don't work. Chasing quick likes and comments don't work. So I saw someone in the chat earlier saying, oh, where do I find the best accounts to comment on? You don't need to rely on that anymore. You actually just need to rely on good content. So the problem is that people are still playing the old game of LinkedIn, where you think that it's only for job offers, you only think that it's only for job announcements, you think that you can only repurpose content on LinkedIn that worked on other platforms, you think that you should become the niche and, be the niche of one and all of these things, and you think that you should just post content. But it doesn't work like that. And as a result, this idea that you're seeing here of just repurposing content from other platforms, just posting your blog content, etc., it doesn't work. And that's why we're seeing all of these content about quality of LinkedIn on Reddit, on YouTube, etc. But the reality is that even when people say that the LinkedIn algorithm has shifted and it doesn't work for anyone, I don't think it's true. We have Cameron, my CTO, that started posting on LinkedIn in January, and he keeps on going crazy viral on LinkedIn. He just started posting, right? He had an audience of people that used to work with him. So people that weren't interested in his content. And in his head, he was like, no one's going to pay attention to me. But then he implemented all of our strategies. And today we see results like this. So if you've been wondering, oh, I've had my LinkedIn for ages. I don't know if it's going to resonate. I don't know if I changed my niche today. I don't know if it's going to work. Then I'm here to reassure you that it can't work. And after reading the paper, here's what matters, right? Number one, and please start taking notes because this is important. Smaller accounts can outperform larger ones with better content. So today, LinkedIn is not a game of who has the most followers. It's a game of who has the better quality content. And you can see it directly from that report. The performance gap between the two models is largest when a member has fewer available connections and interactions, right? So we can see here, someone like Wilman here, who started a year ago with 400 followers, now has 21,000 followers and has multiple viral posts because he understood how to leverage the new algorithm and the new content rules to his advantage. Now, number two, the new LinkedIn algorithm actually works in favor of expert-led content and positioned profiles. So who here believes that they are an expert in their niche? I'm going to wait till in the chat to see you guys, if you guys are experts. Yes? Do you guys believe that you're experts in your industry? Do you guys believe that you guys know something about your industry that most people aren't talking about? Yes. Okay, cool. We've got many different experts here. So if you're an expert, then I have good news for you. You don't need to rely on viral tactics anymore. You don't need to talk about random things that you don't believe in. You don't need to talk about work-life balance. You don't need to talk about productivity hacks. You just need to talk about the thing that actually powers your business. If you're an SEO expert, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a marketer, if you're a creator, those things that power your businesses are the things that LinkedIn wants to hear about. But your profile needs to be positioned first. And I have data to back this up. So a recent article from Rishi, who is the Senior Director of Product Management, literally said that the few factors that influence what appears on your feed are your profile, your network, and your actions. So your profile must have your experience, your skills, and your education helps them determine your interests and the most helpful content for you and for people that follow you, right? Also your network. Who is in your network? Are they people that actually are interested in what you have to say? Or are they people that just have been there for decades and don't really match your new interests or what you're trying to sell as a service or a product? And also your actions. So when you post, what conversations you have in the comments, etc. So let me give you a quick actionable tip because I don't like leaving you guys with just information without implementation. So this is how you position a profile in the best standard possible. And I want you guys to take screenshots right now. Okay, so this is Evan. Evan works as a DTC growth expert. So how is his LinkedIn winning? Because immediately when you see his profile, he's positioning himself as the expert. So his banner is targeting a specific ICP, so an ideal client persona. It also has the thing that their ideal client wants and also has CTAs and social proof. So you can see in his banner, 7-figure DTC brands want to scale to 10 million plus a year. So he's immediately targeting the problem that his ideal client or audience has. And also here, as you can see, he also has the social proof to back it up. All right. Who's clear here? Yes. Also in his headline, D2C growth expert, right? Immediately he's categorizing himself in a niche. He's not saying founder of Linear because he understands that people don't understand what Linear is because it's not a household name, right? The main mistake that a lot of people make is that they try to make their brands the headline, but no one knows what your brand is yet. You need to let them know in the future with your content. But first, in your headline, you need to indicate to someone what problem you are solving for them rather than what is the thing that you do, right? It is the problem that you need to be addressing. It is a specific category that you want to be living under. And the reasoning behind this, again, is because of the new LinkedIn algorithm changes. So LinkedIn itself has said that it reads your profile like a prompt. So imagine when you put something onto ChatGPT or Claude, what happens? When you tell it, hey, build me a marketing strategy, it's going to give you a marketing strategy for Instagram, YouTube, etc. When you give it a prompt that says, hey, build me a marketing strategy for LinkedIn over the next 30 days based on all of these research that I've done and you add sheets, etc., it's going to give you a better result. So think about that when you're creating your LinkedIn positioning again. Think about it again. How are you going to prompt the LinkedIn algorithm and its new AI to put you in front of the right people that want to consume your content and also eventually buy from you? You tell the LinkedIn algorithm exactly what you do and who you help. You're not categorizing yourself as a dad, dog dad, telling everyone that you're an author, podcast host, speaker, investor, etc. all at once. You're categorizing yourself as one thing because everything else comes after. Firstly, you need to actually understand how LinkedIn actually categorizes you. All right, cool. Now, I have another example. There's Anthony Smith, who is Stephen Bartlett's head of trailers. I don't know how many of you guys are fans of Stephen Bartlett, but his LinkedIn profile is positioned in the best way I've seen. social proof heavy immediately, even if you don't know that he's Direct CEO's trailer creator, you understand that he's got something to show us because he's worked with Star Wars, Marvel, Sky, Netflix, Disney, etc. So even if you don't have big logos like that, you can add logos that represent your industry. So if you're in the medical field, you can add the NHS, you can add, a hospital, etc. If you're a consultant, you can add KPMG, etc. Any logo that one of your clients could immediately recognize, that is important. And then you have a headline that is social proof heavy. So director of trailers at Direct CEO with Stephen Bartlett. Why is he saying that? Not because he wants to brag, but he wants you to categorize him as the person who's doing this thing again. So a question for you is, how would you then revamp your headline after what you've learned today, right? So put it in the chat. So if you're seeing this or seeing that, what would be your new LinkedIn headline based on that specific expert-led advice? So I'm curious about the logos now. Talk about what you do. Put in your headlines, I'm looking at the chat. So, Yashna, Deshna, I want you guys to put in the chat what your headlines would be. So we have Mariam here, project manager, Sepal, yeah, perfect. We've got Trajak here, distress depth expert with Deloitte. Nice, Maxim, nice, perfect. Landing page designer, full stack. Okay, we've got some good. Okay, content marketer, nice. Okay, content marketer for who though, or for what? What is the content marketing that you're doing? Content marketer for D2C experts, content marketer for entrepreneurs trying to build their personal brand, content marketer for B2B businesses trying to scale and go to market. Like we need that specificity, okay? Don't forget to be specific about the client that you're helping. So that is important. This is something that most people forget. They add the thing that they're doing, but they don't actually add the context of who they do it for or the specific thing. So if you're a social media marketing strategist, that's cool and nice, but you actually need to say who and how and why. So social media marketing expert for LinkedIn, for founders in the B2B space in AI. So that specificity is what matters, all right? Let me take a sip of my drink because I think I'm starting to speak really fast, okay? I'm still seeing the chat. Nice. Okay, cool. We've got in really good progress. Let's go. All right, cool. So number 3, your profile is now treated like a prompt. And that's what I said earlier. And this is the data to show it up. So you can take a screenshot of this and read it after. But this is why I'm showing it to you, because I want you guys to understand that this is all based on actual real data, not just vibes, right? So something that I want you guys to start looking out for in your own content, and this is part of like our 12-part ecosystem for LinkedIn monetization, is signals of mastery. So skills that show up in your profile, skills of endorsements, skills that are implicit, so this is in your content. So based on your past content on LinkedIn. So what does LinkedIn mean by this? If you go to my LinkedIn profile right now, you're going to see me talking about 3 main things: entrepreneurship, business, and LinkedIn, right? That's it. That is it. Because I know that the LinkedIn algorithm is looking out for keywords and cues for it to recommend me to other people, right? I never deviate from those topics. Even though I'm a multifaceted human and I have different interests like investing, like, building other businesses outside of LinkedIn, like, powerlifting, like running marathons, etc. That is not on my LinkedIn that often unless I tie it back to my main thing. That is a signal of mastery. Signal of mastery is me becoming an expert in my niche and not deviating from anything outside of that, right? And this is actually very uncommon advice for social media, because if you come from Instagram, if you come from Facebook, if you come from YouTube, if you come from TikTok, most content creators and gurus and experts and strategies are going to tell you, you need to be the niche. You need to be known for everything that you do. And I completely disagree, right? This might ruffle some feathers, but you do not need to be the niche. You need to own a niche first, because no one knows you on LinkedIn today. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I am reminding you, the thing that powers your business and your personal brand is your category of expertise. Nothing beyond that and nothing outside of that. No one's going to care about you before you make them care about what you do and how useful you can become. All right? And it's honestly not that scary. This doesn't really feel new to me. I started doing this 3 years ago, right? And I've been playing by these rules the entire time, literally. So I've seen this before it even came out. So again, this is why you should trust me, because I've seen this happen multiple times. The new algorithm is not news to me, but it can be news to you. I've been positioning myself as an expert all along, and same with our clients. I've always told them focus on one niche instead of trying to become the niche, right? You can do them both, but each one at each step. So all of this to say, the LinkedIn algorithm is one thing, but what you do despite of it is another, right? So revamping it will sure change your LinkedIn experience. So again, the signal of mastery here. So if you go to your LinkedIn today while you're watching this, if you're being very interactive in the chat, I want you guys to put what you wrote in the chat for me in your LinkedIn headline, and I promise you, you'll see immediate results. You'll see more people reaching out. You'll see more people being interested. You'll see a change in engagement over the next 60 days if you do it right. So now, your profile isn't the only thing that matters, right? It's also your content. I want you to remember the main mission of LinkedIn. And what is that? The vision, like they have it on their website, is create economic opportunity for every single member of the global workforce. What am I highlighting? Why am I highlighting this? Why do you guys think that I am reminding you of this? Put it in the chat. Just curious. Why am I reminding you of LinkedIn's core fundamental visions and missions? Why do you think that is? For you to align with it, correct, Ariane. Because most people, if you guys are coming here from Instagram or if you guys are coming here from Facebook ads, you will have seen that entertaining content works, that video content works, that talking about random things works in your life, yes, but on LinkedIn it does not. Because you are creating content for a workforce, for people in corporate, for people that are building businesses, for CEOs, CMOs, CIOs, etc., who want to be entertained in a business way. So LinkedIn's mission is simple: connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Every single person in this room right now is a professional in their own right. If you have a business, if you're a creator, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a founder, if you're someone in corporate, you are a professional talking about your professional expertise, and it should remain that way, right? It doesn't need to be wordy and fluffy, but it does need to be corporate in a way that it educates, in a way that it transports people, in a way that it makes people feel like they're learning rather than just doom scrolling. Okay, so how does a LinkedIn feed work? Again, from someone at LinkedIn, Tim. At LinkedIn, we use AI and more recent LLMs to help identify the context of a post and determine whether the content is helpful and insightful for a job opportunity, for a career milestone, etc. For instance, if a post highlights a breakthrough in sustainable agriculture, a topic that resonates with a more niche audience, we use it to understand how to promote it to more people, right? So then let's get to how to create content based on all of these things that we've learned, okay? So we need to talk about three things, and one of them is experiential authority over informational authority. And here's an example, okay? So experiential authority, what is that, Lara? So how many of you guys have seen the multiple posts that always say, here's how to, get our job promotion in 2026, or here's how to build a business in 2026, or here's how to create content on LinkedIn, right? All of these are very generic and informational too often. And what you guys are probably also seeing is that there is a decrease in engagement and reach for these types of content, right? And so what you need to be doing instead is to add experiential authority. So what does that mean? My post here is an example, and I want you guys to look at it and potentially even take a screenshot of it and try and do something similar. My one-person business is about to cross $200 a month, right? What is the experiential part of all of this? Can you guys tell me? How does this make it unique to me and my audience? Give me a comment in the chat. Right? Experience, the 200K a month, your experiences, my one person, yeah, Nayaf, you're right. So me saying it's you, it's mine. Yes, perfect. Amazing, guys, you're on it. So by me simply adding the how I versus how to mechanism, it allows people to feel like they can trust me. My one person business is about to hit revenue, okay? And then I break it down. So 0 outbound, 0 cold emails, and here's the breakdown. So I go from saying, instead of here's how a business, here's how to scale to 200K a month, I am saying how I've done it. So how would you guys do it for your business? In the chat. So you can say, my consulting business is about to hit 10 clients in the last 30 days. Or for someone that is a designer, you can be like, my design business is about to, hit its first $10,000 a month, right? With zero outbound, with zero cold emails, etc. And you break it down exactly how you did it, right? This is something that you can use to add that experiential authority into your content, all right? Now, you can also show what's happening in their world. So we have a post by Casey Brown here. I'm sure the algorithm isn't going to push this one, but if it does, white woman, listen up. You benefited from DEI, etc. So she's calling out a problem that her audience has, or people believe that they have, but no one's talking about. So for you, what would be that polarizing view that you can take, right? So instead of just documenting things that are happening in your market, you can also talk about it from your own point of view. So if you went to a networking event and you hated it because you didn't get any connections, because you didn't even make any clients, then you could talk about it. You can be like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that no one wants to say this, but networking events are dead in 2026. Here's exactly what you should be doing instead. Or if you don't believe in something, like let's say you're an agency owner and you're tired of having multiple SOPs, you can talk about how you believe AI is going to change the wave, right? You take something that most people agree with or disagree with and then give your take. It's not as hard as you believe, right? It is the same kind of like framework that's worked on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, but you just need to make it for LinkedIn in a way like this, so you can see the different ways that we are writing. So the one line, the formatting, etc. And we're going to show you that tomorrow on how to actually do this. But I want you to start paying attention as to how people are writing content on LinkedIn, right? So the next thing that I want you guys to understand is authentic content. So what I've been doing on LinkedIn to add that authenticity and not that personality, instead of doing, random updates like, I just ate this for lunch. Here's what it told me about B2B sales, right? No. Instead of saying like, oh, I am so excited to announce that I went to this networking event and I met this person and this person, also no. Or instead of saying, oh, I'm so happy to announce that I just got a new role, that needs to end, ladies and gentlemen. If you're trying to post LinkedIn content and you're just like, oh, I just filmed a new YouTube video, here's the link, or I just wrote an entire blog on this, here's a link, that doesn't work because it doesn't tell a story, right? And again, for people to like you, they need to trust you first, right? For people to trust you first, they need to know you first, right? So the mechanism behind all of this is adding authenticity in a way that resonates with your business. Are we clear on this? So we don't need to be telling stories just for the sake of telling stories because someone told you that storytelling is the new way, right? I've seen all these documents. I've seen all these ads. I've seen the PayPal CEO, announcing that they have a head of storytelling for $300,000 a year. Like, yes, cool. But if your stories aren't about your business, they're not going to convert for your business. And so I have some examples here of how I've done it. So POV, you became the first millionaire in your family. I never thought I'd get to write this post, and it's a post about my dad. But immediately, instead of talking about my dad like, oh, I'm going to start crying this, I just made my parents proud, I linked it back to me becoming a millionaire because that keyword essentially fundamentally positions me as someone that is doing business, not as a girl that just randomly made their parents proud. So it is important for you to recognize the power of keywords. And that's what we were saying at the start. So becoming an expert is about that, understanding your main domain of expertise, right? Again, the second one, POV, you're building a business in London. Again, what is the keyword? Business. Surrounded by 8-figure founders because of LinkedIn. Again, business, 8-figure, founders, LinkedIn, etc. All of these keywords are within the first 2 lines. The reason why your content is not performing on LinkedIn is not because the LinkedIn algorithm hates you. It's because it's not specific enough. It is not really detailing to someone why they should listen to you, right? The algorithm doesn't hate you. Your content is just not good enough yet, right? But I'm teaching you how to do that today. Are we clear on this? If you were to write a story today, do you know what the first line should look like? Do you? Tell me in the chat as well. Do you recommend using hashtags? No. Okay, keywords. Yeah, cool. Right, amazing. Nice. So let's move on. Today, LinkedIn essentially is prioritizing relevancy over recency. So I don't know how many of you guys scroll on LinkedIn every single day. I do, definitely, way more than I should at this point. So I am seeing a lot of content that is 2 weeks old, a month old, etc. because it's prioritizing relevancy. Your post can actually reach more people after you posted. Before, it was the opposite, and that's why people were joining engagement pods, because they believed that the way to get more reach is to get more people commenting on their post immediately. However, now with the new LinkedIn algorithm changes, when something feels like it's resonating, even if it's 2 weeks after, it will still get pushed across different profiles in their feed. So then you posted content, it distributed mainly via other people's networks, so fast second connections, etc. But now you can see it as suggested content because LinkedIn features it to more people because they can tell that it's interesting, that it's expert-led. Also, there is longer shelf time for posts. Okay, are you guys still with me? Give me a yes in the chat. Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, amazing. We're locked in. Cool. Now, all this to say that the new algorithm is now asking, could this post have been written by anyone or could it have been written by only one person, right? That's why when you log on to LinkedIn and you see another infographic sheet, you're like, anyone could have written this, Lara. Anyone could have written this. So how do I stand out? Now, how do you do it? Well, I'm not going to give you more information because I think I've gave you plenty today. So here's a system that I use every single day, even to this date, even this morning, to create content to match this new LinkedIn algorithm without worrying about my impressions. Here's how I live a swift life where I can just focus on building the businesses instead of focusing another day on looking at my impressions and counting the numbers and followers, etc. So here it is. Here's the new algorithm post positioning system. And I want you guys to look at it and take a screenshot. All right. So the core topic and then having adjacent topics. All right. So your core topic could be being a solopreneur, being a consultant, being a marketeer, being an engineer, being a doctor. Now you have to have adjacent subjects underneath, right? So adjacent subject for a content marketing strategist. Okay. It could be going virality on the platform. It could be lead generation, and then it could be a personal story of you. But all of these adjacent subjects should all then match with your offer, right? Because the reason why you're probably not getting sales on LinkedIn is also because when you post content, it doesn't match your offer. I've seen this way too many times. So people will be creating content about, traveling, remote work, but then they'll be offering a high ticket service on how to scale a business, doing X, Y, and Z. So the remote work posts don't match their actual offer. And that's why they're not getting any leads, because when they do decide to talk about their offer once in a while, their audience is a bit confused. And so we don't want your audience to be confused anymore. We want them to be begging you to actually sell them something, right? And this is how you create that demand, because you're you're educating them on the thing that they need. Every single post that you ever create should be solving a problem that your end product actually solves. All right. So my CEO is telling me to hurry up, so I'm going to try. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it all needs to connect to your one thing. So what is that one thing for you? It is not being a content strategist. It is not being an AI expert. That is not your one thing. It's something else. It's something that has a direct outcome tied to it. Okay? So SEO strategist for B2B businesses scaling to over $1 million a year. That is the one thing, right? And underneath you can have the education, all right? So for example, here's my secret algorithm proof system. I really try to not share this because I don't want people copying it. But here is for you guys today, an exclusive for me. My main thing is building online businesses on LinkedIn, correct? So the 3 adjacent topics are content. So how to write better content, how to go viral on LinkedIn, how to monetize, then I talk about email, then I talk about funnels, etc., and the entrepreneur life. So when I'm speaking at events, etc., and all of this then ties to every single one of my business models. I talk about content, and then I tell people that I have Clio, my software. I tell people that I have my 4-week program, the Known Club, where I help coaches, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs scale their businesses online. And then I had literally LA, which was my ghostwriting agency. So everything made sense. It was a funnel for everything. None of it was, spread around. It was all around one thing, right? So I want you guys to remember, if you guys remember anything from today, is focus on your one thing, not everything. Here's how it would work for our consultant. So please take a screenshot if you're a consultant. This is going to be super helpful for you. And this is how it would work for you. So here's a screenshot so you can take it and then put your office in there and then come back tomorrow and tell me what you actually came up with. But right now, the main question that everybody's probably asking is, how do you identify what makes your experience unique, right? Lara, like you're saying all of this, but I actually don't understand how to create authentic content. Like, I don't know. There's nothing authentic about me. There's nothing special about me. Who here has said that before, right? So many people. I have this all the time. All of our clients are always like, yeah, I don't have anything special to say, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing special to my business, etc. Or other people are asking, oh, and how do you turn that into content that consistently gets rewarded by the algorithm? Like, Lara, you're showing us all of these things, but how do I know that this is actually going to help my impressions? Well, here's where we go into the second pillar, why most personal brands won't survive 2026. And I don't want to scare you with this, but this is the truth. So like I said at the start, the old playbook doesn't work like this, where you post a motivational quote and it goes viral. Like that doesn't work anymore. When there is AI slop that everybody has seen is ChatGPT generated or Claude generated, or where you're tying a random lesson with a profession. I proposed to my girlfriend this weekend, here's what I learned about B2B sales. That used to work, and it can work sometimes today, but it's not leading anyone to an outcome. It's definitely not going to lead anyone to buy from you, right? So starting in 2026, the algorithm is getting even more aggressive about punishing generic content, and we've seen this. So this is why we see less of these and more of these. So what is the difference between this and this? Well, this is very niche. So we have a photo here from David. This is a genuine graph research, right? 2,000 likes. So for anyone that's ever wondering, okay, my niche is too niche, no one cares, then what is this, right? We also have a post from Adam. Adam here got 8,000 likes talking about ARR and SaaS. And again, if you're someone that is an expert in your space and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if this is going to work for me, then this is the reality. It does. Because LinkedIn wants experts talking about super niche, nerdy topics that no one else is talking about, that Instagram can't do, that TikTok can't do, that you can only do on LinkedIn, because people care about the nitty-gritty expertise, not about the fluffy, viral, doom scrolling tactics that everybody's using. It's not about the top 10 hooks that are going to get you visibility. It's about the top 10 ways that you can get visibility to your one thing, okay? So we get into the third pillar, and that is the 3 things that you need to do to become an exception, just like Adam here, just like David here, and just like Alan here, that even with a butter post that he was able to tie directly into real estate, that's how he was able to then go viral for the first time. So let me break down the 3 things that you absolutely must do to be the exception, all right? So exception strategy number 1, develop uncommon opinions. So what does this mean for you? For me, it meant talking about work-life balance. For Nicholas, it meant talking about talent shortage. So an uncommon opinion doesn't need to be controversial, like Emma Grede, 3-day work week, 3-day mother, or something like that. It doesn't need to be like Stephen Bartlett talking about COVID. It's not that. It's something that is controversial within your industry. It is something that everybody's thinking, but no one else is saying, right? And I'm sure that so many of you have that. So that's how you build that's how you build your exceptional personal brand, by saying things that no one else is talking about. Because today, again, because of all of this AI content, because of all of these templates and worksheets, etc., people are starting to sound the same. And if you are here today, you don't want to do that. You want to talk about the things that you want to talk about in the way that you want to talk about them, but you need a way to actually make them work. And that is by tying it directly to your expertise, like I showed you earlier, but also showing that you have an unconventional point of view. So that is how you do it. Now, how do you develop uncommon opinions? So you pick your one topic. So it could be engineering. It could be cables. It could be AI. Then you tie your belief. Maybe you're in the AI industry, but you don't believe that AI is going to take over the world, because you believe that human experience is a lot better. And then you tie it with lived experience. Maybe you're an AI hacker, but then you went to a networking event and it actually had a lot more progress than you would have done just using AI. So that's how you leverage attention. You use a core topic that is trending or that is trending in your industry, and you tie it with personal beliefs. So for me, my usual favorite is talking about the LinkedIn algorithm. So I usually go and say, everybody's talking the LinkedIn algorithm, but no one's talking about how to get clients, right? So I'm tying it back to something that is trending, the LinkedIn algorithm, as always, but then I tie it back to my core expertise. So for you, it could be like everybody's talking about SEO and how it's changing with AI, but no one's talking about YouTube, and how it's the biggest accelerator for revenue generation, right? Those things combined, when you put them together in one line, they create controversy and they also gather attention, okay? Now, here's an example from Jake. So this needs to stop. I just watched someone writing LinkedIn posts with their hands, right? This got over 1,000 likes. He took 5 minutes to write this and it went viral because he was literally explaining something that a lot of people are doing. Now, the next one, and I will always reference Jake because he's one of the best writers I know on LinkedIn. He's also my co-founder. I've been saying this for 17 months. The data keeps proving the same thing. And he's taken a screenshot from SEMrush or Ahrefs website to show what he talks about and what he's going to be addressing, right? So it doesn't need to be anything crazy like here. And I want you guys to look at this. I've been saying this for 17 months. You could say that as well. You could be like, I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks. The LinkedIn algorithm hasn't changed. Or you could say, I've been saying this for 17 months as well. The AI is not going to take over, or whatever it is that you believe in, all right? Exception strategy number 2, show unique and real lived expertise. So again, we have Jake here. I've been saying this for 17 months. Instead of Jake just saying, here's the new Ahrefs SEO update that's happening, blah, 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 Jake added his own personal lived experience. And that's what I was saying at the start again, right? That is lived experience, not just something that is regurgitated information for just the sake of regurgitating. He's adding his own, view on it. He's adding his own expertise. He's positioning himself as someone that has been seeing this for decades or like months. Now, exception strategy number 3, own a concept in your market. So what does this mean? Most founders build their brand around their title or industry. So most of you guys maybe here, maybe you guys have on your headlines, I'm a consultant who helps with digital transformation. Or I'm a coach who works with executives, right? You need to be owning a concept instead. So Justin Welsh, Solopreneurship, Matt Lakajeb, Selva Chat, Likes and Cash by Jacob Molina. We all know this, right? So have you guys thought about the concept that you guys want to own? Because in order to start growing on LinkedIn, people need to recognize you for one thing. And this is something that I've been saying for the last hour and a half. What is your one thing? What is the one thing that you want people to tie you with? That ideally should be tied to your offer. So if your offer is creative design, then your one thing should be creative design, right? Or your one thing should be creative designing for B2B or go-to-market or whatever it is. Your one thing should be tied to that. So your industry is full of people with similar experience and similar credentials. We know this, but there is only one person with your experiences, with your beliefs and your methodologies, because you've worked really hard to get these. So why not talk about them? Why not use them? You need to stop being overly humble about what you've achieved or what you've researched or what you've done, even if you don't have any clients yet, even if you don't have any new clients in your new offer, right? You need to understand that whatever you've had, whatever expertise you have, you should be able to leverage it, because that is like the pivot that most people don't take, is that they don't use what they currently have, because they're waiting to get that thing, but it's never going to come. If I waited in 2022, when I had that broken chair for the full Studying the 30 to get started, I would have never gotten it. I just did it before I was ready. I started using myself as a case study. I started using my first client as a case study. And then after I got more case studies, I got more experience, I changed my niche, I expanded into my niche. I became the niche of one after 4 years. The next step that I want you guys to take is your identity audit. So I'm about to share a little worksheet for you before you can build so you can build a distinctive brand. So you need to know what makes you distinctive. Okay? So here's the identity audit that I want you guys to start building. So there are 3 questions for your identity. And this is what's going to build your main thing that makes you distinctive. Okay? So if you've been wondering, okay, Lara, how do I do it? This is how. So firstly, you need to understand what belief about your industry do you hold that most people disagree with. So you could be about the golden handcuffs. It could be about hustle culture. It could be about shiny promotions. Thing number 2 is, what mistake did you make that taught you something that nobody else seems to know? I didn't start my business because I thought it was risky. I sacrificed holidays, etc. Number 3, what process or method have you developed that gets better results than the standard approach? I am sure that every single person in this room has understood something that most people haven't. I saw a lot of consultants here. I saw a lot of solopreneurs. what is the one thing that most people don't talk about? It could be about an SOP. It could be a simple hiring process. It could be something about content that a lot of people maybe don't understand, maybe video creation. Something that people don't talk about enough because it's too boring or it's just too niche. That thing should be the thing that you double down on because people are looking for the new thing always. They are looking for the new thing that is gonna make them skip the line and get them to the actual result. But just because no one's talking about it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Step number 2 is finding your unfair advantage. And this is something that I literally say 24/7. You need to understand what your unfair advantage is, right? Do you guys know what yours is yet? So what is the thing that will actually make someone want to follow you? For some people, it's their unique life experiences, like my friend Timo here. I grew up here and he's pointing at the council house that he used to live at. So that post got 46,000 likes on LinkedIn, right? So that is an unfair advantage that no one else has. Maybe some people, and the people that had it, they're not talking about it. So when they see it, they like it. And other people resonate with something around those lines of like, building a business after, making it out of the ends, like Timo would say. Or strategic arbitrage. You're taking something that is trending outside of LinkedIn and you're making it work for your market. So that's all about market timing. So if you guys are in AI, if you guys are in hiring, recruitment, etc., you can talk about the layoffs that are happening. You can talk about the new AI code Anthropic news that's happening and break down how they actually map it to your ideal client. You can also use monetizable expertise. So your unfair advantage could be actually teaching people how to make more money using what they currently have. So that is a high income scale and that is a high value scale. So you have 4 to pick from. You can choose all 4 or you can just choose one, right? So put in the chat, what would be that for you? Maybe you moved to a different country. Maybe you started a new business. Maybe you got fired from your job. Maybe you were part of the layoffs and then you started building your own business as a result. Maybe you started traveling around the world and you started building a business. Maybe you've gone from corporate to solopreneur because you got burned out. Those are unfair advantages. Just because you think that they're boring and that a lot of people are using them, it doesn't mean that you can't. It just means that you need to learn how to write them in a distinctive way, which I showed you. So an example is Hans, who is one of our Clio customers. So his unfair advantage was that he is in corporate. So his post was, I recently sat through 87 slides and a ton of information. Blah, 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 blah. Boards don't need to know everything. And then he gave quick actionable advice. He wrote it perfectly. And as a result, he got his first viral post after 2 weeks of working with us. So if someone like Hans in a boring niche in corporate, helping board executives, etc., can do that, imagine what you could do with your amazing niche that you love so much. All right. Now, in the last 3 years, there are 3 key problems that I've noticed, right? One of them is conversion paralysis. Has anyone ever felt like that guy on the floor, full of notes? You've gone to so many masterclasses. You've seen every single one of my YouTube videos. You've taken notes about every single one. You've gone to ChatGPT, transcribed the transcripts. You put it onto another AI. You made it build you an entire content strategy. And then by the end of the 5-hour stint that took you, from taking notes to understanding to watching the video to put it in through an AI to doing all of that, you end up looking like that guy. Who feels like that guy? Or who has felt like that guy? Yeah, that's also been me. You're like, there's so much going on. And as a result, what happens? You have so many different ideas that you don't have any conversion because you're not even trying to implement it. Faucet. Okay. Now, if you're a business owner, if you're a solopreneur, if you're an executive, and if you're a coach, you know that you need to be building a personal brand in 2026. Like, the word personal branding is not new. You've heard it for a while. But the problem is you don't know where to start. You don't know what to post because everybody's telling you all of these things that you should post. Educational content, memes, videos somewhere else. Someone said that video is going to blow up and they never did. I said that it was going to blow up but it never did because I got told. Content creators tell you to do infographics. All the content creators are telling you to do stories. Other people are just telling you to post text only. And you're just confused. You also don't know the strategy. You don't know how to monetize and you don't know how to get engagement and you feel like you're trapped in this algorithm hell where you feel like the algorithm is shadow banning you, where you feel like people aren't seeing you, where you feel like last year you were getting 10,000 impressions and today you have 2,000 impressions for the same type of post, right? And so for this, I've got news for you, because there are a few key strategies that can help you feel ready and can easily help you attract clients who need your service, even if you don't feel ready. Even if you join the gym and you don't have the right equipment, right? You don't have the fancy shoes, you don't have the fancy logos, you don't have any of that. You just joined the gym, but you have a plan, and I'm going to give it to you. First, you need to understand the widespread problem that is happening today and with your content. What business owners are doing right now is that their effort level is down here, like you see with the red there. So they're copying what others are doing. And if you're guilty, that's fine. I forgive you. I've done the same. They're using hundreds of free AI tools to automate hundreds of DMs every single day, and they're getting banned. And they're also thinking posting consistently will solve all of their problems, because we've been told that if you post 10 posts per day, that's how you build a personal brand, right? Not really. So the difference between the effort and getting to your goal, that to get land high-paying clients, to becoming the obvious choice, to having an audience, the gap and the bridge is between attention and conversion. And there are psychological triggers that turn leads into clients, right? Now, 99% of people are stuck on the red arrow. They're complaining about organic reach. They are saying that nobody ever replies to their DMs. They're saying that they need to invest in LinkedIn ads, which to me is insane. And they're telling me that there is no way to win except of joining engagement pods, because apparently that is the only way to win, right? And then they're seeing advice that changes every week. So from providing value to, oh my God, you need to tell a story, to you need to post more selfies, right? And as a result, so many of you guys end up feeling stuck and you don't know what to do, right? So the difference is, and where I want you to get to, is a place where you consistently start getting the right attention, where your DMs are full of your ideal prospects, and you finally feel like you have LinkedIn influence that directly translates to revenue. But first, you need to understand something. Back in 2023, it was a badge of honor to write a post and get inbound leads. And then in 2024, it became fashionable to do some outreach with your content as well. Now, this has created two different camps, right? One of them was write viral, broad content so clients come to you. And the other camp is outreach is the way to scale your business faster, right? We've seen this over the last decade. Every single person has a camp and they stick with it. They're like, no, you shouldn't do that, and no, you shouldn't do that. You don't need this, and you don't need that. The reality is, though, both camps created big problems. Camp number one created generic thought leadership stuff to try and attract clients, right? Write viral content about the top 10 TED Talks that change your life. And camp number two made the other problem. Buyers became more skeptical and averse to DMs. And it became hard to sell in conversations. So outreach is the way to scale your business faster. But the problem is that everybody started automated everything, and now nothing sounds normal. Everything sounds like AI, right? Now, if you want to build a serious business that makes serious money on LinkedIn, it is important to learn how to properly sell, right? Because I, again, will be doing a big disservice if I didn't say that you do need to sell in your content. Shock, I know. Yes, you do. So you have to be selling your content. You have to be selling your comments. You have to be selling on video calls and in the chat and in the DMs. That's how you build an entire model. But not in the cringy or salesy or sleazy sales way. There's a different recipe for it in 2026. Now, I'm going to talk to you about how to do it. Most people are trying to reinvent the wheel every single time, but they sit down and create content and they're like, oh, what should I post today? And then you look at your blank screen for hours and you're like, nah, I'm going to go back to work. And they think, like, I want you to think about your favorite restaurant, right? Your favorite restaurant doesn't change their menu every single week. They perfect a few signature dishes and execute them with the exact same systems every single time. So the quality is the same, the taste is the same, the clients come back and they love it, right? Today, I am going to be giving you the 3 signature dishes of LinkedIn content that get the best of both worlds. So that means engagement, but that also means conversion. Now, let's get ready onto the education. Format number 1, authority signal stacking posts. You need clarity signals for this, you need competence signals for this, you need proof signals, and you need a teachability signals. So I know that many of you probably have never heard of these words before, and that's fine, because I'm going to show you what they mean. So firstly, I want you guys to open your LinkedIn on your phone and tell me what you see. Do you see any of these posts that look like this? So I guarantee that 70% of the posts look like, oh, please be kind, or an infographic taken from a book, or leadership lessons that don't really help anyone, or AI tips or takes that really, they don't help. They just are controversial takes just for the sake of controversy, but they don't really actually do anything, right? This is what we call a vanilla insight. They are Googleable, they are AI detectable, nothing is unique about it, and there is no personal experience. And the brutal truth is that the LinkedIn algorithm can now tell, like I said yesterday. But most importantly, beyond caring about the algorithm, which is something I recommend you guys not to do too much, people can't tell, and they lose respect. How many of you guys go on LinkedIn and read content, you're like, that's so obviously written by AI. I don't really care about what you have to say anymore. Even though I liked you, I don't like you anymore because I can tell you're using AI. So people lose respect. People lose respect with fluffy content, with vanilla takes, and all of these things that just feel easy. So people just scroll past your content if you're using ChatGPT. The algorithm doesn't end up pushing it because people are scrolling past it, and your clients miss it. Even if you felt like you had the best point to make, if your content is vanilla, it won't get seen. Now, posts that get massive reach in 2026 are the ones that signal immediate authority. And like I said at the start, there are 4 key signals for each one of these. Now, here's an example. We've got an example from Bill Johnson. And again, we're talking about immediate authority, right? So I want you guys to pay attention to this. Bill said, if I were the VP of sales again, I'd make every AE do their own prospecting. That single post got Bill, someone that doesn't average that many likes per post, or someone that doesn't get that many followers, that got him a small account, just like yours, that who you are, if you're watching, 2,000 likes, nearly 3,000 to be honest. So why did this happen? Because he was signaling authority. So here's the difference. These are the same posts if we were to write them from a vague point of view, right? But here is a post that I would have written with ChatGPT, 100 emoji, how to get clients, use prospecting. I don't know why people complicate it so much, blah, blah, blah. Can you see the difference? But here, Bill, what he did is, if I were a VP of sales again authority, because he's saying he was a VP of sales before, I'd make every AE do their own prospecting. If you were here yesterday, I was talking about keywords, and I was talking about authority signals, and I was talking about how to use social proof. That's how you do it in an elegant and professional way for LinkedIn. You identify your authority and you use it to your advantage to make a point. It is not that hard when you understand what the clarity signal looks like, right? So the clarity signal is specific, is painful, and it's relevant. And it immediately tells the algorithm, this person understands a real business problem that makes others think that they're just talking generically, okay? Because Bill here, he isn't just telling you to do prospecting. He's telling you from his own experience what he's seen and what's worked and what he would do again, okay? Now, step number 2 from the same post, he's got what we call the competence signal. And this is real-time experience and also quick and tactical takeaways. So this is an expansion of the post that you saw earlier. So here, he's closing with, prospecting is where you learn how to market, how you learn how you market things. Number 1, you hear real objections. Number 2, you find out who has the power and who sits in the room. That is real experience, because someone that has had experience in that place can tell the difference between how to actually understand the position or the lived experience. Now, the second thing is a quick and tactical takeaway, which a lot of people don't do. A lot of you guys watching this, and I know this because again, I saw your LinkedIn content. You guys are educating too much, but you're not giving enough tactical, implementable advice. And I want you guys to think about this masterclass even, or about a YouTube video. Why do you like these? Why? Because they're tactical, they're fast, you know that you're going to get to a result, and you know that you're going to get implementable value immediately. You know that you can leave the next hour and at least you're going to learn one thing that you can implement today, right? Your content should be doing the same, and that is a competent signal, because competent people know what to do immediately, right? And all of you guys here are competent. You guys know exactly what to do, but you're just not framing it right in your content. Cool? Number 3 is the proof signal, right? So here, I know your problem. You know, if I had to guess, 80% of teams feel behind on meetings and late stage deals. So he's articulating the problem. He's not letting people guess the problem. He's literally mapping it out for people. Because if you try and make your audience guess at what you're saying because of the sake of a curiosity loop, because you've had all of the viral storytellers talk about it, you are doing yourself a disservice, especially when you already had one in the hook. That's the only place where it should be. If you're trying to add curiosity across your content to get people to read more and to follow for the next post, it's not going to work, because we're not on TikTok, we're not on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn works differently. It works with proof signals and signals of mastery, like I said, from the algorithm that came out last year. Now, the second thing is I know how to fix it. You are signaling to your ideal client and to the algorithm and to everyone else that you understand the problem, you understand the solution, and you know why people are failing. So this one, no meetings in this afternoon, then block a time that becomes call time. Slow week for inbound, time to write manual outreach, send LinkedIn messages, or follow up with old contacts. Immediately, Carl, he gave you a step-by-step. Now, every single person here probably knew what to do. Yes, okay, I know I need to send more DMs. Yes, I know I need to make more calls. Cool. But no one is saying the obvious things anymore. People are so obsessed with storytelling in the most platonic, broad way that we are getting too lost in all of these genericism that we forget the specificity and the proof that you can do the thing. So I recommend you to leave everything that you learned at the door from this call onwards. And remember, specificity, proof signals, signals of authority, all these things, they are the ones that matter on LinkedIn, and that's what builds your personal brand. Now, number 4, the teachability signal. This entire post was a lesson, but it didn't feel generic. It didn't feel like AI wrote it. It didn't feel like ChatGPT wrote it. It felt like a conversation, right? Another example from one of my clients, Guy, who came here yesterday and told you guys such amazing things about what he's done with his personal brand, etc. Guy here is showing competence, right? So he has proof in the first line. I just told a Fortune 500 CEO his data centers are worthless. Proof, right? Proof that he's in those rooms, proof that he's done the thing, proof that he has the access to these rooms, right? This is important because a lot of people don't have them. So I want you to think about a place or a piece of advice, something that you've done for someone that you never thought that you would have, talked to before, or something that you never thought that you would have done, or something that you're thinking about doing, right? The next thing is clarity. That's like trying to power a jet engine with a car battery. So he's adding clarity to his point. He's not just saying to someone, hey, your data centers are worthless. He's telling them why. And then he's showing competence and teachability by breaking it down from brutal realities to what's actually happening, to the 3 truths that no one wants to hear. And at the end, he's adding an image. And as a result, what happened to Guy? 5,000 likes for a post about data centers. And again, I love talking about Guy so much because Guy, data centers. If data centers can't go viral on LinkedIn, I wonder what you could do with your content. All right. So again, for you guys, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this is important. So a proof signal, a clarity signal, a competence signal, and a teachability signal. That itself led to 5,000 likes, right? And Guy is one of our clients, and he's taken all the systems that we implemented for him inside of the Known Club with the record month LinkedIn ecosystem. He fixed his engagement, he fixed his positioning, he understood his main thing and his one thing and how to write content faster. All right. Now, if you guys don't know what a lead magnet is, I'm going to cover it quickly. A lead magnet is essentially when you give a free valuable resource, like let's say I give away my notebook full of notes about marketing, right? And I want to promote it. And I'm going to be like, okay, so I have this notebook full of notes about LinkedIn growth and personal branding and business growth, right? So I'm going to give them to you. But in order for you to want these notes, I can't just tell you, here are my notes. No, I need to tell you, the notes in this notebook have built me $3 million businesses. If you want them for free, you just need to do this, right? Which one sounds more appealing, number one or number two? Number two. Now, most people do number one. More clients, more chaos, same paycheck. The hook here is very weak. Most agency owners call that growth. I call that a trap. So this disqualifies people immediately. Maybe some of the people that don't qualify themselves as agency owners wanted it and could have become clients. Now, all of these actually doesn't help because one, the hook is indirect. It's too broad. It mentions 500 plus agencies, which is good, but the proof is implied, not shown. And then the entire post is too long. So by the time I get to the actual call to action to get to the lead magnet, I'm already gone. I'm already gone to the next post, right? How many of you guys just scroll on LinkedIn every single time? You're like, nah, let me go. We don't want that to happen for you because I know that you worked hard on your notebook full of notes that you're trying to give away to people for free. So in order to actually get access to as many people as possible, we need to position and package our lead magnets on steroids, like I said. So the problem with this, and the main thing, was that the image was way too crowded. Like, I don't even know what this is. There's like 3 things going on here. There's a face here. I don't really know what to look. This is telling me to do something, but I don't want to do it because you're asking me to directly, and I don't even know what value I'm getting. So okay, Lara, then you might be asking, okay, so you told us how to not do it. I think I've done it wrong multiple times because I didn't get the leads. I failed miserably. Okay, so how do I create a good one, Lara? Like this. And I chose one of the hardest lead magnets I've ever seen, but it's gotten this person over 1,000 likes, 300,000 comments. No, 3,000 comments. That is 3,000 leads just for him, just for this one lead magnet. Now, the family office investor list. He honed in on his positioning and had a detailed list of contacts from an angel investor, right? So Maxime here, you can see he's an entrepreneur and investor, right? And so he's using that as leverage to then put this hook in the family office investor list. Everyone talks about VCs and angels, but family offices are hidden gems. So immediately he's telling you what the lead magnet is. He's telling you why you need it. And then he's breaking down exactly what's inside of it within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, right? 5 lines is all it took. It didn't have to be an essay. It didn't have to be 1,000 words, just simple, quick, and actionable. Because what you don't want to do when you promote a lead magnet and you want to get leads because you work really hard on your lead magnet is that no one gets the actual call to action, right? So this is how you do it. And obviously as well, the image. The image adds a lot of authority. People want this thing because you can see exactly what's inside of it. A lot of people do this mistake, like we saw here, that there is no real tangible value. I don't know what this lead magnet looks like, so I don't really want it because I don't want more fluff in my inbox. I want true and relevant information that can help me. So I can come about in a list. It can be a simple list. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It just has to be something that fixes a single problem that your audience has. Another example is one of my favorite lead magnets. So here, you can see here that you can have a small preview at what I'm doing, right? And this was just a Miro board with a Loom embedded into it of me walking through it. Now, why did this work? This is exactly how I built a $1 million personal brand, right? 1 million qualifiable proof. The phrase I built positions me as a teacher, not a preacher, and exactly how triggers FOMO. Because you want to know what's inside of the system. So FOMO is fear of missing out. So you're like, oh my God, this person is showing me exactly how she did this. So I need to understand how she did it because she's saying it. So I must find the solution. And then I tell them exactly what's inside. So there's content market fit with my content. So it explains at a quick glance what's inside of it. And then a humble flex. People paid over $4,000 to see this last month, but you get it for free in the next 24 hours. So we're adding urgency and scarcity, and then you can also see the image. So all of this combined is what creates a winning lead magnet. You guys can take this screenshot and literally emulate it almost nearly word by word just by simply replacing the right keywords from your business, because not all of you have built doing like personal branding stuff. So that's what I would do if I was you. That is how you start building your lead generation on steroids, right? It doesn't take that much. It is just the two things that I showed you earlier. Now, some of you may be like, I don't know what to do, how to do it, Lara. I literally just learned about lead magnets. Now, let me help you create one live. Right? You need to identify a narrow problem, an aspect of the core problem that they need to fix, right? The second thing, and then put in the chat your answer. The second thing is in the chat, and I'm going to build one for one of you in a second. So yes, please get going. Number 3, figure out your packaging. What is it going to be? Is it going to be an AI GPT? Is it going to be a Loom video? Is it going to be a Notion document? Is it going to be one of your SOPs? Is it going to be a small YouTube video that you already recorded? Which one? Now 4, you give it a memorable name. Use power words and add credibility as to why it's important. So power words include the unconventional guide, the one and done solution, the ultimate system, the unrecognizable, guaranteed social media flywheel. Power words that add a lot of volume to what you're going to be saying. Make sure that it's awesome. So add an amazing photo to it or a big image and give a clear next step. So like I said earlier, here, the clear next steps are these ones. But it's free for you for the next 24 hours. Want access, comment below, influence, and I'll send it over. I'm not telling people, you can get it later, and then you expect people to comment or DM you. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to give people actual instructions, right? Just like building an IKEA piece of furniture, you need to be doing that, all right? What we use for our clients in our one-to-ones and in our mentorships today is that we show them the specific process of how to turn all of these winning content frameworks from not just being just viral content and viral posts that get you 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes, 100 followers, 200 followers, 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, into something that converts that attention into clients. Because that's why you're here. A lot of you guys want to build a personal brand because of the fact that it builds your business as well, right? And the result is you need to understand how to appeal to someone. So you do a statement, not a pitch. So we have the clear fundamentals here. Then a this or that question, so you can actually get them to come to you with the right question. So instead of saying like, hey, how are you? How are things going at X business? You go and ask them, you give them options like, oh, I see that you're doing this or that. And then after that, that is an opener for you to come in and investigate whether they need your help, right? And then you ask the question, okay, so what's your goal? How many things are you doing, etc. So these are all based on your business, and we curate them exactly for your business and what you're doing, etc. Then we validate the needs, and we understand if they need help, how to just ask, and then how to qualify them. There is an entire system built for this. Based on my own experience, based on our client experience, based on our coach's experience, we built it exactly based on everyone that we've ever coached, every single thing that I've ever done, every single thing that our coaches and mentors and like a special masterclass have told us. And we combined into an ecosystem and a system that actually helps you. And that doesn't leave you waiting or hoping that you had a coach integrated in your brain to help you understand how to create the best message. Because just like me, I started like that. I hated outbound. But it wasn't because I hated it. It was just because I was bad at it. Because my questions were very broad. I was always being left on scene, and I didn't really know what to say, because not all of us have learned how to sell, especially in the DMs. For most of us, it's a very new concept. So this is what we help our clients with. There's a lot more to cover, but I can't go through it now because we need to get into the third thing. All right, format number 3. The tactical call out. What does this mean? Any guesses? The tactical call out is exactly when you're mentioning a big problem that you know that your clients have. And you know this because of 2 different reasons. You talk to clients, or you've been in sales calls and they give you objections. So those objections and questions that they ask you can then be turned into content. So we have an example here. RIP LinkedIn from 2023 to forever. Yep, your reach here is officially dead, blah, 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 blah. And then he as a result promotes, his masterclass or his offer, etc., because he's talking about a problem that a lot of people have. Your reach here is officially dead. Number two, I used to think launching offers was cringy, right? That promoting myself made me look poor. That saying I am selling something was wrong. But after 365 days of building my personal brand, I didn't. And I realized the power of one thing, momentum. So I'm talking about a problem that I know a lot of my customers have through my own lens, and that is a promotion problem that you think that you shouldn't be promoting yourself because it's cringy, because people are going to be looking at you because you don't like it, because etc. Then at the end, I then pitch them something because I'm talking about sales, so I'm going to sell them something. Now, also, number three, Adam Robinson, most B2B founders just feel trapped on LinkedIn, blah, blah, shows exactly what the problem is, shows exactly what their problems are and how to fix them, and then he funnels to a YouTube video. Now, these are what we call tactical call-outs, where you're tactically using a big problem to then elaborate with the story, and then you add the different fundamental pillars that you do to help, right? If you want to do this in a different way beyond just content, you can use these unpopular callouts in your industry as a magnet to fill a LinkedIn Live. What do I mean? So LinkedIn Lives, for those that don't know, are the most underused thing for lead generation. No one's doing them, no one knows how to do them, and no one's actually trying to even try. Which is great for me because it gives me a lot of space. I am the only entertainer, rapper, LinkedIn creator, entrepreneur, investor in the world on LinkedIn. So because of that, I am able to then have and host free Q&A discussions on building profitable businesses, content, etc., and getting 10,000 people coming onto these, 10,000, right? For free, don't even need to run ads, right? That is the true potential of LinkedIn and why I'm always going to be all in on this platform. Because the opportunity is so untapped, but people are too scared to try. So today I'm giving you permission to try your fasting. So these are unpopular things that I do to then use my tactical call out to call out different problems. So if you don't know how to build a profitable business, if you don't know how to create content, if you don't know how to use content with AI, then we're going to be talking about it for the next 2 hours. All right. So do you notice how this works? Has anyone seen a live masterclass happen where someone is teaching you something and then people are coming to it and learning from you? And then as a result, that helps you build your personal brand because people like you. And maybe they like your rapping skills or your accent or the fact that you speak at ADHD level or the fact that you really, really like caffeine or the fact that you're an amazing educator and you can do it live without reading out a script, and you can do it because you're proving that you know your stuff, right? I had this big realization 3 years ago when I hopped on my first LinkedIn Live with my best friend Yasmin Ale. And we realized that there was a massive gap in the market for people that could communicate the problems and solutions that people were just doing in a written format, okay? Now, the controversy attracts people who either agree and want validation or disagree and want to argue. And then what happens? If you do a controversial statement like AI is dead, here's what's next for business owners, people that agree will be like, yes, I agree. I've been saying this for years. People that disagree will be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me just tell you what's wrong. This adds urgency for people to comment in your content, to comment to your live and try and argue your point. And then as a result, both people show up, you address every single objection during the live, and you address the objections in real time, you demonstrate your expertise, and then at the end, you make an offer solving that big problem. But I want to say something before I get into this. This entire thing doesn't work without the first few things I showed you at the start, right? And even on day one. If you don't have a content system that leads people to want to see you live, then when you go live, it's not going to work because you're not going to have that trust and demand engineer. And like I said, there's a 12-part ecosystem, right? It's not just that one and done hack. It's not just do LinkedIn Lives. It's not just do a single unfair advantage post. It's a whole thing combined in the right place at the right time, all right? So just wanted to give that context. Now, the LinkedIn Live structure if I paid a lot of money to learn everything from the best in the best of businesses. So I paid $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to understand the architecture of what makes people engage and what makes them stay as well. And here's one quick useful aspect, right? There's a lot more to it, because the fact that you can just do the LinkedIn Lives and you can just follow this agenda. So that's what we use, right? We welcome them and set the agenda. We address what they were thinking before. Then you tease at the end for the webinar, so like what you're gonna give them. You then amplify the problem. You give them a 3-part solution. You share your receipts, and then you present the offer and you drop the link, right? If anyone here is here to understand how I run webinars, because I know so many of you probably are, this is how. It is not that simple, and I'm not gonna gatekeep it, because I want every single person watching this to win. And that's the exact agenda that we follow every single one of our masterclasses, that allows us to build a profitable engine on top of my content engine. So that's how it goes. So please take a screenshot of that if you guys were wondering if you guys want to start doing LinkedIn Lives or even masterclasses like myself, then this is how. So all you need to do is understand, what are you going to be addressing? What are you going to be giving away? How to amplify their big problem, and then how to give them a 3-part solution that is immediately actionable and it doesn't feel like more information, all right? Now, there's a lot more to it. A lot more to that. So there's the structure, the delivery, how to create a killer presentation, and the ebbs and flows. If you guys see me talking very fast and then talking very slow and then pausing and then raising my hands and doing all these, it's all part of a structure. I am not doing all of these things because I just know them and I just do them. No, it is part of a lot of training and work that comes through understanding how to deliver these perfectly, step by step. And on top of all of that, it's not just doing the masterclass, it's not just doing the live things. It's also about doing email campaigns, right? If you guys are subscribed to my email list, how many emails did you get over the last week? For that, I'm sorry, but also I am not. Because at the same time, I'm giving you a free masterclass on how to do email marketing, right? Can you see where I'm getting at though, right? It is not just about the strategy. It is not just about understanding the algorithm. It is not just about understanding LinkedIn Lives and masterclasses. It is not just about understanding email. It's not just one thing. It is many at the same time, all combined at the right time, right? And then I see so many people trying to start email, but they don't have content. And then I see a lot of people trying to start content, but they don't have the positioning. Then a lot of people try to start with the positioning, but they don't have an offer, right? How many of you guys have one but not the other? Put it in the chat. How many of you have tried to go all in on email marketing, but you don't even know what to email market because your offer is not concise enough yet in order to deliver it and justify it? And the other way, you're creating content, but you don't know how to, create your offer because your content is confusing to you. But you know that you want to get profit, you know that you want to start building a business, but you don't know how all of it works all at once because it's so overwhelming, right? Now, in depth, this is what we cover inside of the Record Month LinkedIn ecosystem. And again, I keep on showing you this because it is important for me to tell you that there is a system. It is not one and done individual hacks that work all at once perfectly. It is a simple system that has different engines covering each part of your funnel and process and personal brand that allow you to monetize and actually get to that 10 to 50K plus in pipeline every single month on LinkedIn. Like, that's how it works. That's what we've engineered. That's what I use. That's what my clients use. And that's what the biggest creators in the world use, right? So this has led to results like people like Thea. So when she invested into working with me, she made her investment back 18 times or something like that, like a ridiculous amount. She made $40,000 in 1 week, right? I show these a lot because I want you guys to understand I don't bullshit. I wouldn't be here after 4 years if I did, right? So who here has noticed each format built on the other? From emails to masterclasses to content. Do you guys understand that? Put a me in the chat. Now, The people who engaged on all of this, you understood exactly how to have an authority signal stack post, and then they understand the lead generation on steroids, and then call out posts to a live event, right? So it is a process that works as content, but also conversion. Whoever's saying that likes and cash, lie to you. Because likes are cash if you know how to convert them. I truly do not believe on the idea that, oh, going viral isn't everything. People that say that is because they don't know how to go viral and because they haven't taken my masterclasses. But if you're here today, you probably learned how to do all of it at once. All right. So that's how you understand how the funnel works. I showed you guys how to fix the conversion paralysis. Conversion paralysis essentially is when you don't understand what's going on. And so you have all of the information possible, but when it comes to actually converting a client from your content, nothing's working. But there's another problem that needs to be fixed. And that is, I call it the leaky bucket problem. You finally land the client, but now wondering how the next one will come, right? How many of you guys have been in that position? You guys finally landed your free client, or maybe you're $1,000 client, or your $2,000 client, or maybe you have a $10,000 client. But then you're like, okay, well, and now I need to service this person, and now I don't have time to do the marketing. Or, okay, the offer that I gave this person is a lot, and I don't know what to do now because I don't want to give that offer to the next person, right? Can any of you relate? Or maybe you're like, okay, no, I have all of these problems. I have the content problem, and I have the leaky bucket problem as well, and I have the conversion paralysis problem as well. Anyone? Yeah, I see a lot of me in the chat from Mora, me in the chat from Sava, me in the chat from Rita. It's so inconsistent. I literally have no idea where my income will come next month. Okay, cool. So there's a problem that I see when people are playing the influencer game. You know what I mean? You're creating content and then you're expecting sponsorships as well, and you're expecting the clients to come to you. You're just creating content. You're not acting as a business owner. But in this room today, every single one of you that joined this challenge is a business owner in your own right, or a solopreneur in your own right. Even if you're a freelancer, you're also a business owner in your own right. You have your own business model. So if you're a business owner, if you're a solopreneur, if you're an executive, and if you're a coach, the last 2 days, you realize what you need to do and what you need to work on to land high-ticket clients from LinkedIn. But what no one is telling you is what happens after that. If you don't have a funnel ecosystem to continuously capture attention, convert it, and keep it flowing, every lead you generate just falls through the cracks, right? So you struggle to turn a follower into a client. You have a client acquisition system that runs while you're asleep, and you don't have the predictability to land clients after month. You guys are saying it in the chat. You are relying on luck. You are relying on timing and whoever happens to come to your DMs, right? And that is just not a good business strategy. That is not a funnel. That is not a business. That is something that is bringing you inconsistent cash every single month. And I don't know about you, but that is exhausting. So what happens? You have a good month. Someone finds you. They like what they see, and then they buy. But then nothing. Crickets happen. You go back to posting and reaching out, hoping someone else stumbles across you. And there's the leaky bucket crisis. So you're pouring effort into the top consistently. So you're doing content, you're doing outbound, you're doing commenting, you're doing everything that every single LinkedIn YouTube video has taught you to do. Oh, you need to do more engagement. Oh, you need to do more educational content. Oh, you need to post more case studies. Oh, you need to, change your banner. And this is how you turn your LinkedIn into a landing page. But there's no structure on the needs to catch any of it because these are surface level tactics and they can work, but it's not a long-term fix. So then it looks like this. You have a great content month, but you don't have a system to follow it up. And then the lead goes cold. Or you have a viral post, but then there is no proper place to send people. And then you have an opportunity lost, right? How many of you guys can relate? How many of you guys have had a viral post and you're like, oh, I wish I had an offer to send all of this traffic to. Or maybe you had your first million impression month or 100,000 impression month. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting all of these eyeballs, but I'm not capturing them. Why? Or I finally got to 10,000 followers, but these followers are not converting. And then the last one is someone is interested in working with you, but you don't have a clear next step or you have a bad offer. And then when you send it to them, they're like, never mind. And then you end up finding out that they hired someone else. Doesn't that hurt? It does, right? But don't worry, I've got news, got very big news. There's a funnel blueprint that can take your LinkedIn into a predictable revenue channel that lands you high ticket clients, whether you post it today or not. I post 4 times a week, sometimes 3. And I am still able to run $100,000 a month business. The LinkedIn landscape has split into 2 camps. Camp number 1 is building an audience that has no system to monetizing. So it's content rich, you're going viral, you're posting these infographics, you're talking about productivity, you're talking about all these viral things, but you don't have any revenue. Your followers are bigger than your monthly or yearly revenue, right? That is not a flex. That is not fun, right? Number 2 is you build an outreach machine, but you don't get attention. Maybe you have the best business in the world. And I am sure of that. I am sure that so many people in this live masterclass have an incredible business model. You guys have the great offer. You guys have the great system. You guys know that you can get results, but you're not getting any attention from your content. You're not sending every time you send a cold message, it goes into the void because you don't have any credibility, right? So these are the 2 camps that most people are stuck in. Both are leaving money on the table because neither of them has the full picture. So to build a business that makes serious money on LinkedIn, you need to do both and have them working together for you. There is a specific formula for this in 2026. You need to start here. You need to identify where you stand, right? There are 4 different ways that you guys can understand where you guys can start monetizing, right? Some of you guys here may be creators. That's how you identify yourselves. Some of you guys may be students or young people or part-time creators, right? Some of you guys may be business owners, and some of you guys may be business owners and content creators, all right? So there is a strong difference between every single one of these people and how you actually get to your goal. So first thing, if you're a content creator and you have, let's say you have a big audience, right? So you're here and here. The way you can actually start monetizing as a creator is that you start with giveaways and free resources. That's something that I do every single week, by the way, because I'm also a creator. And then see what your audience finds valuable, right? A lot of people start creating lead magnets, but they just create one big one. And they're like, oh my God, this took me 2 months to create. Now I launched it and no one else subscribed to it. Well, that is a problem. But if you only do one, then you're not really guaranteeing that people are gonna want to come in for that specific problem because your clients or someone that you can help have different problems at different timelines. And so your service or the thing that you're helping someone with, it's divided into many things, right? It's not just one problem. It's multiple ones that fix an entire thing, right? So if the goal is to build a system for someone in HR, then their problems are divided into 3. Maybe they don't have time. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe they don't know how to hire the right person, right? But if you just create one single lead magnet on the one problem, you're literally ignoring the other 2 that may be more painful at the time for someone else, right? So the ideal version of this is that you need to be solving your own problems and then share your solutions. And this is why creators do so well sometimes, because they found a problem that they had themselves and then they found the solution, they built it for themselves, and then they started promoting it, right? This is why you see a lot of content on like, I built this AI system that generates me 100 leads every single week or something like that. Or something crazy ridiculous like that. Or I built a content system that allows me to send 10 emails while I'm sleeping, right? Something that fixes your own problem. Now, then after, once you understand that problem and that solution, you offer it one-to-one where possible, right? This is where you get scrappy. This is where you land your first testimonial. This is where you land your first client. Even if you're not charging anyone for this, that is your first client and that is your first testimonial and that is your first proof of work, right? Now, the second thing is business owners. So you have an ecosystem of products if you're a business owner right now. You have maybe 3 different offers. Maybe you offer done for you, done with you, and DIY, right? Or maybe you have the 3 different consultancy offers ranging in price. Now you have to choose which one is going to be low ticket because that is almost an entry point for your high ticket offer, because a lot of people want to see what you can do for them at a low risk before they go into the high ticket, right? This is why a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs that you will see online have a low ticket offer. Maybe that is a consultation call. Maybe they have a high ticket offer that is a full business model, like a full service, and then a high ticket offer that is a retainer, right? And then they also end up posting on different platforms. They have different products that solve different problems for different audiences as well. And that is how you then convert into a high ticket product mechanism. Now, if you have low skills right now, right, then you should be focusing on prioritizing building a big audience, right? Because this is how you start actually getting a scale. That's how I started as well. I didn't have the scale of building businesses. I didn't have the full businesses that I started with. I only had myself. So then while I started creating content about a skill, then my audience grew with me. And then I wasn't selling anything. I was just giving value for free. And then what happened after is that I found people that liked me. I found my first 1,000 fans. Have you guys heard about that concept? So when I found my first 1,000 fans, I understood that I could sell them something because they liked me, they trusted me, and I built an audience from that. So I also ended up documenting my journey to build that audience, because that's how I built trust as someone that was just beginning. Because I also didn't have any authority, but I was able to attract people. So if that's you, then that is a system that you should be following for the next 30 to 60 days. Just don't sell, give value first, find your skill, fix your own problem, and then attract people that like you or that are even like you, right? That's how some people inside of our programs have done it. I'm going to show one of our student case studies that he got an internship at a YC-backed company just because he was following that model. And now he's able to make money while being a full-time student and building a personal brand that's going to serve him for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Now, if you have a high skill, like most business owners in this school, then you need to start an email list, right? You have one value lead magnet every single week, like I said earlier, something that is breaking down a big problem with a simple solution, right? That is your lead magnet. And then when they download it, you offer one-to-one access. So this could be coaching. This could be live calls with them. This could be consultations calls, or this could be a done with you service that helps you understand how to build an entire business from just that one problem, having someone that you're helping live, and that is literally paying you. That's how I also did it when I built my first agency. I got a client. I took him through my entire system that fixed my first problem. I found more problems in their world, and then I was able to systematize that to fix every single business owner problem based on my first problem that I fixed for myself, right? It is not complicated. And so many of you probably already have that, right? This means that you probably have sold maybe over $100,000 on your scale, or you're creating engaging education content, right? You monetize the long tail of your business. You package your knowledge into courses, info products, etc. And then you create content about your skill. This is what probably most of you guys are, but you're missing maybe the lead magnet or the email list, or actually having a winning funnel, right? Now, let's get into the next step. So this is how I was then able to turn every single one of these into a $2 million a year business, right? And this is a $2 million blueprint, how I monetize my audience and turn followers into actual sales. So you guys have met me from LinkedIn, or some of you have met me on YouTube, right? And so why am I posting on many platforms all at once? Well, I didn't start like that, and I do need to emphasize on that. I didn't start a YouTube channel until I got 150,000 followers on LinkedIn. I didn't start an email list until I had 30 to 50,000 followers, right? I didn't start posting on Instagram until earlier this year, right? And so the first thing that you need to get clear on is, what platform do you want to prioritize? Because if you have followed me for a while, you know that I always focus on the one thing. What is that one thing? And if you guys are here, you guys want to make that one thing LinkedIn. YouTube content, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, etc. comes after. Because the most important part for you is that you need to focus your attention on one platform. I see so many people trying to build their business page, their personal brand page on YouTube. And the problem, my friends, is, and I need to be very honest with you guys, is that if you're trying to create on multiple platforms all at once, but you have a broken system, you have a broken positioning problem, more platforms aren't going to solve that problem. they're actually going to increase it because you're literally trying to divert your attention way too much. You're spreading yourself too thin, and you also have a business to run. And so what I noticed is that because mostly I have ADHD as well, I needed to focus on one thing first and then making that one thing work. And that's why my LinkedIn then became a revenue channel, because I was posting content that allowed people to understand the problem that I was fixing. So you can see my content here. My favorite life cheat code, take thought without any equation. I got rejected from every single job that I ever applied to. And then I tell them my story. I tell them the problems that I had. I tell them why they happened. I relate back to them. I tell the stories that I had. At age 18, I couldn't speak in public. I had a stutter. At age 27, I built a 7-figure business, right? I am literally walking people through my entire journey and telling them that the main solution to that was building a personal brand, which it was. And then obviously, and eventually, my personal branding business became a business, right? So everything that I post about is on LinkedIn. Then it's about 2 or 3 different things: personal branding, entrepreneurship, or online business. And I made you guys do this on day 1, which was a positioning exercise, because you need to find your 3 main topics that live under your one main thing. So that one main thing is that the business model that you're operating in. So like I saw someone that is working with highly ambitious women. So that should be the main thing. Or the results, highly systems for highly ambitious women. And then the sub pillars should be like productivity, efficiency, lifestyle, etc. So you can have different content coming out, but they overlay back to your main thing. So when you do choose to promote something, to offer something, people can link it back to you. And it's not coming out of nowhere. And that makes sales actually work, because people want to buy from you because they build trust with you from that one thing. And then you generate content that creates signups. So every single one of my posts always almost leads to something. Either it is a lead magnet, a masterclass like this one, a YouTube video, etc. Because I know that that is prime real estate for me. All of this attention has to lead somewhere, otherwise it's in vain. And I don't want to do that, okay? And then the last thing is also, we do lead magnets, but we do them the right way. Yesterday, I showed you guys how to do lead magnets the wrong way and how to do them to do them the right way. And the importance of lead magnets is, my friends, is that content alone won't convert clients. Like this, almost like a false belief that has been sold across multiple gurus. The reality is that there needs to be a system that converts people onto your offers. Social media is for attention generation. Getting them off the platform onto an email list is where you get the monetization. You guys have heard me say this, but if you haven't, 70% of my revenue comes from email. That doesn't mean that building a personal brand is almost like something that no one should do and everybody should start building a newsletter or an email list, because the reason why that email list is so highly converting is because I had the attention and then I put it into my email newsletter. If I was building a newsletter from scratch, I don't think I would have the amount of subscribers that I had. So it all is a system. Now, once you understand that you have to build on LinkedIn, right? And then you have to funnel them to a newsletter through lead magnets and through consistency TAs from your content that is about your one thing, then you get the emails from like this. So if you guys have signed up to my lead magnet, this is how the process works. I have a winning lead magnet, which was for me the 7-day free course, which maybe some of you have gone through. And every single day you would receive a simple lesson fixing a burning problem, right? But for 7 days, right? Or maybe some of you downloaded my LinkedIn playbook, right? And so that LinkedIn playbook solved the problem of having a good content strategy. Now, after that, what happens is that instead of me just giving you the value and then just saying hello, like bye, and then leaving you to it, then immediately you get put into a 5 to 4 day sort of like conversion system or like indoctrination system where you get to understand who I am and how I help and where you can find more help from me. So every single time you do a lead magnet, you need to also have a plan in place. So when someone subscribes to you, they also get to know you. They also get to trust you even more because you need to re-nurture them every single time, right? All right, cool. So we have a lot of lead magnets that you guys have seen. So like I am showing you guys this because it is important to understand that one lead magnet isn't going to cut it. You need to have multiple solving different problems. And then at the end, like I said, you then send them emails. So you can do what I do, which is different models. So from lead magnets, I then send people to a service offer or a coaching program, right? And then at the end of those emails, I have something that educates them on the problem, something that makes them see that that I can fix a problem for them. And then I convert them like this email. This email alone generated us over $11,000, right? And then I am telling them a story. I am talking about, and the story is essentially about them. It's never about me. It starts with me. So I'm currently in Bali delivering a mastermind on LinkedIn growth, right? The most asked question, it wasn't just monetization, it was how to get attention. And then I break down why that problem was burning for these 220 people. And then I tell them the solution, and that is a program that I had at the time, right? And so from that, I followed this SLAY framework that you guys probably already know, story, lesson, actionable advice, and a U. And then from that, every single time we implement that strategy, people convert into our offers because I got their trust, I got their attention, I show them that I'm an expert, I tell them that I understand their problem, and then I give them an offer. Instead of being like, hey, I just launched this, do you want this? No, that is the wrong way to kind of like use email. So we have different ways that we've done this, but I am showing you like the revenue numbers so you can see that it's true. Email works when you make it work for you, when you have an entire strategy behind it. And this is exactly what we show our clients inside of the Known Club, right? Now, the next thing is, okay, so I have the content, I have the lead magnet, I'm sending these emails, but then how do I convert them? Some of them, whenever I show them my high ticket offer, they're not converting, or like maybe they want something else. So you build something for them, right? You need to show people that you have different offers, or you need to have different offers so you can offer them to different people at different stages, right? So from email, so you convert them from content, then you upsell them from email. So you have maybe one offer, which is a low ticket offer. So for us, it's like our email courses and our content creation courses, where you have a landing page that literally tells them the problem. And this is a problem that I see a lot with most of our clients. They have a landing page, but the landing page is vague. It doesn't direct to anything. It's like, this is our 6-week program. This is like this framework. No, you need to understand how to articulate the problem in your client's words. So for us, it was how to write shockingly addictive content and become too good to ignore on LinkedIn, right? How many of you want that solution? Many. And then in the sub-headline, I say, steal my proven frameworks, methods, and blueprints on how to own the most valuable asset you can possess as a business owner, your prospects' attention, right? And then as the landing page goes on, I show them testimonials, I show them case studies, I tell them exactly what they get and where to join, right? Immediately, we have the headline, then the sub-headline that sort of like reframes the thing. So first we lead with the problem, then we lead with the solution, and then here's where you click. This is a CTA, level up your content game, and then they click and they convert, right? That is a low ticket offer. That is a $99 program as a one-time offer, all right? And we also show them the value inside of it. And then we literally kind of like make sure that they have every single objection handled before they leave the page, right? And so if you have a low ticket offer, or even if you have a consultancy offer, you need to make sure that the value is laid out for them. The entire reason behind a landing page is that you need to have that, you need to use it as a sales letter, right? It is your way of sort of handling objections before you get into a call, right? Especially with a low ticket product. Now, after someone buys your low ticket product, let's say they booked a $100 call with you. That's also the same. They bought a $250 class with you, right? Some people do that. The next thing is that you need to upsell them again, because it is easier to convert someone that's already bought from you than finding new clients. You guys probably already know that, but it's something that I have to remind myself often. Because if someone bought from you once, then their lifetime value is higher because they already trusted you with one thing, so they're more likely to trust you again, okay? So then you offer them a mid-ticket product to maximize value for a narrow audience. So this is where more people, the majority of people think that they need to grow their audience consistently. No, you just need to grow the lifetime value from your current customers. And so you offer them a mid-ticket product like I do with Literally Academy. It is $999. And then that is the entire ecosystem to building a six-figure personal brand, right? I fixed a small problem here, content or email. And they're like, okay, I've got my email sorted, I've got my content sorted, but now I want the whole ecosystem. So then you offer them a higher value product or program that fixes that, and you add something else, like we have a community in there, which the current courses don't have. So we have that value add. So I would suggest for you guys listening, what is that value add for you? Or what is that extra step or additional step in your low ticket offer, like the coaching or like a small PDF that you have on Notion that you can sell, that then you can expand into a bigger offer. So it could be the entire program that you already had plus live recordings of you showing them the solution, right? The digital product economy is at multiple millions today. So it is important for you to understand that, because digital products and you coaching one-to-one and having cohorts and programs, it's actually something that helps a lot of our clients because that increases their revenue without increasing how much work they do. All right. My CEO is about to tell me off. Okay, cool. Leva, sorry. I love talking about this. All right. Now, the next upsell to this is time-based cohorts, all right, and memberships. So this is something that I've done very well. And this is something that a lot of people do. Alex Hormozi, Cody Sanchez, Grace Beverly, and I'm going to show you their funnels in a second. So time-based cohorts and memberships, they allow you to maximize value for a niche audience, right? How does this work? So for me, we have the Know Club, which I'm going to invite you to join later. And this is a 4-week program. We usually offer it at $3,000. Today, we're going to offer it to you guys at $2,500. But the point here is build a widely profitable online business and personal brand using AI in 2025. That was the offer for last year, right? And then we cover exactly what these people need to know in order for them to make a purchasing decision, right? They come in, maybe they're like cold leads or warm leads if we're running ads. And then the landing page allows us to handle the objections, allows us to help them understand that we understand their problem. And we also show them testimonials and how it works, what's inside, who is coaching, etc. So they understand that the value is there and all they need to do is join, right? We also have bonus materials. We have so many different offers that almost make it a no-brainer offer. So for you, what is something that would make it a no-brainer offer when you chose to, let's say for that woman that is helping high achieving women have more confidence? What is that for you? So the offer would be, it's a 6-week program showing you exactly how you can become more confident and land a promotion in 2026. So every funnel works in a similar way. You just need to find the one that works for you. All right. So I broke mine down. But we have another funnel like Iman Gadzis. So Iman right now is also running a masterclass. And then the reason why is because he's then using these live calls to a link in his bio or his description. Then he sends people on to Monetize, which is a low ticket product. And then from that attention, he's converting between 1 to 10% of those viewers. And then as a result, he then is able to get them to buy, has different options for people to pay in a monthly or a yearly. And then he's monetizing his like young audience as well. So he knows that he has a young audience. He has an audience of students. So that's why he's pricing it at a low ticket, right? But he also has a higher ticket product, which is like $20,000 as well. I paid for that and I really loved it because I know it can help, because I'm always looking to invest in my learning, because I know that when you're around people that help you fix one big problem, price is worth it, even if the problem is small, because it actually compounds in the future. All right. Now, we also have James Smith, who is in the fitness space. So a lot of people here are probably in this fitness space as well, or like health space, etc. So this is exactly how fitness coaches are also monetizing their content. So they are on YouTube. James Smith is also starting to post on LinkedIn because of me, as I'm an investor in the product. But the reason why he's able to then convert his content is he's sending people onto a landing page, which is a program as well. It's time to stop operating within the four walls of your gym. So he's teaching personal trainers to build a personal brand so they can create content as well and then they can create fitness content, and so they can serve people outside of their gyms, because it's a massive problem for most gym coaches. So then as a result, he has a newsletter sign up page where then he has a lead magnet, people sign up to it, then he collects the emails, he sends 30 emails in 30 days, by the way. So it's not as intense as mine, which is just 5 days. 30 emails in 30 days, just to make sure that he's tackling in every single problem. And then he has an organic, non-pushy call to action at the end. P.S. Book a call with me, and also jump into my mentorship live. So similar to what Cam said earlier. So he said, oh, you got me doing the PSs. That is what he means, right? The PS works for more engagement on LinkedIn, or also for more conversion on email, right? Same thing, different mechanism. Okay, so then he has a paid course. So again, he sends people onto a landing page after his emails or after his lead magnet, and then he fixes that one big problem. The step-by-step how-to guide to transforming an hourly rate session into a hugely successful online business, right? Why is he saying this? So let's look at this. So step-by-step, so he's framing it. Oh, why is this so big? He's framing it as this is the step-by-step solution, right? Guide. He's going to guide you. Transforming an hourly rate, successful business. Hourly rate is because there's a problem that most personal brands have, personal trainers have, which is they are charging an hourly rate. He's highly aware of this problem. So then the solution is successful online business, right? So this is how you should map out your next offer, by understanding the hell your current clients are living in, and then the heaven, what they want to get to, okay? And I would love for you guys to start mapping it out in the comment section as well, so you guys can have this on paper for you guys, right? And then after, he's telling you what you get, he's showing you the results to reduce that sort of like friction between someone making a decision for you or someone else, and then he's breaking down exactly what's inside, right? Okay, cool. So that's one of the funnels that I wanted to show you, but we also have more. We have, who do we have? We have Ali Abdaal here as well. Who knows Ali Abdaal? So Ali Abdaal has a similar mechanism. The funnel always works. You just need to find the one that works for you, like I said. So Ali has YouTube videos coming out every single week. Then he has a link in his description pages, which for you, if you guys post on LinkedIn, it would be in your content or in your landing page or your profile. And then he has his website that says, join the part-time YouTuber Academy. Discover the proven strategies and techniques to thrive on YouTube without quitting your day job, right? Why is he doing this? Again, discover the proven strategies and techniques, quitting your day job, okay? So again, he's showing the problem, the hell, and the solution, right? This is why people want to start building an online business, because they don't want to quit their day job, but they want to increase their income without losing that security. So this is something that Ali shows you if you want to become a part-time YouTuber, right? So then he sends people onto that VSL, they watch it, that's a virtual sales letter, and then he sends them on to buying, right? So now let's do someone, like one of my favorite people in the entire planet, which is, where do we have her? Do we have any guesses of who I'm going to go for next? Who is my favorite creator? Any guesses? Where is this one? We have so many in here, by the way. I want to show Grace Beverly. I can't find hers. Leva, where is she at? Leva. I think she was here. Did I skip her? Oh, here. Got you. All right. So we also have Grace Beverly, an entrepreneur. So Grace Beverly, she's got a few thousand followers, like thousands of followers. She also does the YouTube channel mechanism. So then she has a link in the description, and then guess what she does? She sells people on her productivity method, right? So she's not selling personal branding. She's not selling business growth. She's selling productivity. So again, if you're wondering, oh, all of these programs were like to fix this like business issue. No, you can also sell other things like productivity, how to become more efficient, how to become a high value woman, how to become a high value independent, how to become successful, right? So then she tells people exactly what she does, what problems she's fixing. She's using social proof. So Business Insider, Vogue, Bloomberg, etc. And then she sends people onto her landing page where people can then buy for $399, and then getting their contacts for emails as well. This is important for all of you watching. The reason why you'll see a lot of people collect your email before you even get to pay is because as a result, when someone collects an email, then if they don't buy, you can send them a personalized email with either a discount or asking them why they didn't buy or putting them into a different email list so you can actually then solve the objections that you think they probably have. So as you can see, these funnels are slightly in depth, and it's for a reason. Because I would be doing you and me a disservice if I wasn't mapping them out correctly. If I just told you, oh, just post more content and oh, just do this. Like, no, it's an entire system that requires a lot of insights that most gurus or business owners creating content online are just missing, or they don't put it in their YouTube content because otherwise it would be too niche, right? Even my YouTube content doesn't cover this to depth because I know it's not as a specific, it's too specific for a broad audience. And that's why most content online is too broad, because we need to cover the most broad things. Otherwise it's too niche, and then too niche doesn't work on YouTube or on like maybe, on YouTube specifically. So here's what I see that mostly happens. There are 6 different problems. What lead magnets would work? This is where most people stall for months. They overthink the format, the topic, the length, or the name. And then they post something generic and it doesn't work. Then they're unsure on how to send a newsletter to keep their emails active. They don't know how to use Klaviyo. They don't know VHive. They don't know anything. So they're like trying to pick which one. And then in that trying and researching, they just don't do it. Or they don't know how to write nurturing emails that actually convert. So like you'll be like, oh, I sent an email, but it didn't convert. And the email was buy here or buy now. And it didn't convert. Or you just simply copied it from someone else and it didn't work because it is not in your tone of voice. You're selling the offer live. So the pitch structure, the objection, the handling, the urgency mechanisms are not there. And so if you had that, that's what separates the top 1% from the 99%. But most people don't. They're just forced to do a live webinar or a live masterclass and it doesn't work. Most people also don't know how to price or position their offer. Okay, so most people either skip this layer or price things entirely wrong, right? Maybe you price something at $100 when it should be priced at $1,000. And so you thinking that you want to make it cheap actually makes you not make any money at all. Or you don't have a landing page or a very terrible one because you don't know how to build one because you think that you have to have a personal brand strategist that's charging you like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a nice landing page. This doesn't have to be the case anymore. Like it doesn't. There's so many tools like Pablo, like Clio that help you tackle these problems.